Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live at 10.
Surrounding communities continue their outpouring of love and support tonight for fallen officer Cody Holte, who died Wednesday afternoon in a Grand Forks apartment shooting. Holte grew up in Halstead, Minnesota. Valley News Team's Courtney Lockie spent the day there, where family and friends came together to honor their hometown hero.
Blue lights, flags in the wind, and blue ribbons up and down Halstead, Minnesota.
Just a little token
to honor Cody because of his great personality and the fact that he was one of a kind.
It's all for Cody Holte, who died in the line of duty Wednesday. While I was driving around town, there wasn't a single person I came across who didn't know who Officer Holte was.
As he grew up, we belonged to the same church and activities like that. We
used to watch him play basketball.
Cody and his brother came to work with Halstead Telephone, where I'm employed, and so we had to spend time working and mentoring with Cody and Brady.
The Hollands and the Vandenites went to work Friday, hanging up blue porch lights. The rest of the town following the lead.
So many of the homes have a blue ribbon in honor of him.
Neighbors spoke of his kindness, his heart for others, and his bravery, saying Officer Cody Holte will never be forgotten.
Yeah, our heart just goes out to them. Just that he'd be missed by everybody.
We got him in our prayers.
In Halstead, Minnesota, Courtney Lockie, Valley News Live.
A GoFundMe account has been started for the family. If you'd like to help, we've got links on our website. Just download the Valley News Live app. Holte leaves behind a wife and young child. A local photographer is honoring Officer Cody Holte, sharing some of the last photos taken of the young family. Her work is among the just 10 months worth of photos Holte's son will have of the two together. Danielle D. says it was apparent from the beginning how dedicated and proud Cody Holte was of his service in both the Army National Guard and the Grand Forks Police Department, on top of his new role as a dad.
I look at my pictures, and right now they bring a lot of heartache and sorrow, and that will always be there a little bit, but I'm hopeful that in the future it can also bring some of those positive, great memories back to light.
Dee says she hopes her photos always remind Holte's son that his dad was a true hero. The man accused in the shooting death of Officer Holte stands charged with murder tonight. 41-year-old Solomon Pendleton is accused of shooting and killing a woman in the apartment as well where the shootings took place. He also faces 3 counts of attempted murder and 1 count each of criminal mischief, terrorizing, and reckless endangerment. This is his mugshot from 2019. He faces life in prison if convicted on the murder charges. Minneapolis and St. Paul are under a curfew tonight. It kicked in about 2 hours ago. Minnesota Governor Tim Walz signing the executive order today, trying to keep Minnesotans safe from rioters. We're taking a live look right now at the streets of Minneapolis. We've been monitoring this feed for the last couple of hours. They look quiet in some places. Other areas, as you can see, fire crews continue to work on putting out fires. Earlier today, the governor said that we need to come together to restore the peace. He said that some Minnesotans have expressed their grief and frustration in a peaceful manner, but the unlawful and dangerous actions of others under the cover of darkness has caused irreversible pain and damage to our community. The temporary curfew continues until 6 a.m. tomorrow and will go into effect again Saturday night through Sunday morning. Former Minneapolis police officer Derek Chauvin has been arrested in connection with the death of George Floyd. He's charged with third-degree murder. Hennepin County Attorney Mike Freeman says they have not charged the other officers.
Investigation is ongoing. We felt it appropriate to focus on the most dangerous perpetrator. I must say that this case has moved with extraordinary speed.
George Floyd's death is not the first time a Minneapolis police officer kneeling on a suspect's neck played a role in someone's death. As A.J. Legault discovered, the last time it happened, there was supposed to be reform.
To get perspective on what we're seeing in this video, we spoke with 3 use of force experts. Mylan Masson, a longtime Minnesota law enforcement trainer.
What is the training for when you need to get off of a person's back or neck? when the threat is stopped.
Dwayne Wolf, a law enforcement instructor at Alexandria Technical and Community College.
Ideally, once you got a compliant subject, you would take the weight off.
Jack Ryan, a 20-year officer in Rhode Island who now provides police training nationally.
But it's not consistent with training to stay on him after he's restrained.
He's not responsive right now.
They've all only seen what the rest of us have, and each expressed reservation, wanting to know what happened before bystanders started rolling.
What was the level of resistance?
That question is key. MPD policy on the use of neck restraints, defined as compressing one or both sides of a person's neck with an arm or leg, only allows them against a subject who is actively resisting. We don't know what resistance there was before the video starts. However,
as the video goes on, do you see active resistance?
I do not see active resistance.
And it does not appear that the man was in a position to actively resist at that point.
Ryan says the length of time the officers have the man face down while they're on top of him goes against all training.
You know, you want to get them out of that prone position because we know that people in arrest situations in a prone position are in danger of having difficulty breathing. So all of the training says, you know, get off them as quickly as you can, move them into a position that facilitates breathing.
Bro, with your feet on his neck, man, you get off the
His nose is bleeding.
The video does not show that happening, even as bystanders beg.
Meanwhile, a woman from the Red River Valley says that the violence in Minneapolis is not what George Floyd would have wanted. Vanessa Weber, who's from Wahpeton and lives in Minneapolis, says they met more than a year ago and described him as a funny and open guy. She says that the video showing his death didn't know was Floyd until authorities identified him.
I'm happy about protesting. I think that's what we need. That's definitely what we need in this country, but I'm a little saddened, that it's become a little bit more violent. It's turned into rioting. I know that's not what he would have wanted.
Weber says she remembers Floyd as a kind person who always stopped to chat with people. She adds that the rioting shouldn't make people lose sight of Floyd's death. 29 more people have died in Minnesota from COVID-19. The death toll now sits at 996. 811 of those deaths happened in a long-term care facility. 590 more cases were reported today, bringing the active case count to 5,605. Nearly 17,000 people have recovered. In North Dakota, there are 2 new deaths being reported related to coronavirus. Both victims are from Cass County, one man in his 70s, the other a woman in her 90s. That makes a total of 59 deaths linked to the virus. 45 of those deaths were caused by the virus. 7 people died with the virus, and 7 death records are still pending. There are also 3 presumed positive deaths in the state not reflected in the total death count. 40 more cases were reported today, bringing the active case count to 579. 1,882 people have recovered, and 36 North Dakotans are currently in the hospital. The state of North Dakota is loosening its restrictions surrounding COVID-19. Governor Doug Burgum dropping the risk level from moderate to low. Bars and restaurants will be able to increase their capacity from 50 to 75%. Large venues can also go to 75%, and there will no longer be rules for seating. The governor says increased testing has provided the state with confidence to make the move.
The lowest daily positive rate we've seen since we've really started focusing in our testing on those that we believe have been in potentially high contact situations. So to be doing more targeted testing, more testing, and having a lower positive test rate, fantastic news.
Meanwhile, the state also unveiled new guidelines on opening long-term care facilities for visitations. And before that can be done, facilities need to undergo at least 2 rounds of testing with 90% compliance rate.
Have the Peterson sisters, Brooke and Brandy. Everybody give it up for them.
43 graduates at Woodrow Wilson are among the first this weekend to get their diplomas. This is a big weekend for them and many other seniors in the metro. Over the next couple of days, tens of thousands of diplomas will be handed out to graduates from Fargo and West Fargo schools. Woodrow had a CDC safe in-person red carpet diploma celebration tonight.
It was a lot different, but it still was nice to have everyone around us to celebrate our graduation.
For more on the ceremony, times and locations this weekend, download the Valley News Live app. Dozens lined the street in Horace tonight in a parade to celebrate local graduates. Earlier this month, the Horace Lions Club hung 41 banners in honor of the seniors who live in the town. Each graduate sat by their sign while parents and neighbors drove by with signs and goodies to congratulate the teens and wish them well in their next adventures.